Hi, I'm Candace, and this is Fitness and Harmony's Pilates to let yourself go. So in Pilates, we're doing the opposite of that. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, do let go. So for about 5 breaths here, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let go. So imagine that your spine is like a spring. And so when I say inhale, lengthen, it goes up. And then when I say let go, it like springs back down, compresses. Inhale, exhale. And the thing that's making that happen is your breath. So inhale, the spring lengthens. Exhale, let the spring compress. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, compress. Now let's see if you can do something really special here. Bring the hands to the knees. Inhale, lengthen that spine. Now exhale, don't compress the spine. Retain the length. Try that again. Inhale, lengthen the spine so the crown of your head draws up. Exhale, it stays in that upward movement. Again. Now let's add the arms. Inhale, circle up. Retaining that length, lean over to one side. Inhale up. Remember, you're going up and up and up and up. Exhale over to the other side, but keep going up. So do this a few times and learn the concept of lengthening. Now, really what we're doing is engaging abdominal muscles. I said today was a special day that we're really trying to heal from emotions. Sometimes we express emotions and sometimes we hold them in. Either way, you're left, kind of drained. So we're going to refill today, if you're following along with the practice of yoga where we're letting go. So look for that video where we're letting go. Now we're refilling. So we started out with letting go, but then we're going to refill. Come up. Let the arms out to the sides. Practice the shoulder unimpingement, where you take the head of the arm bone and spin it to the back. Then pull the elbows in and stretch out. Pull the elbows in. Now really crunch the bottom tip of the shoulder blades together and then wing them out. Squeeze them in and together and wing them out. Squeeze. Squeeze. Now co-contract the abdominals. So elbows and shoulder blades squeeze and the lower abdominals pull into the spine. 3, keep scooping those shoulder blades along the rib cage, along the rib cage. Now inhale the arms up overhead, thumbs up. Now little exhale. We'll just do 10 of these. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, a deep inhale, and let it go. Let's start out in hands and knees. My goal for today, and I'm going to say this is an abbreviated session. It's not. I just like to start and throw different things at you at different times, is as we come to hands and knees to articulate and lengthen the spine. Exhale into cat. Inhale. Exhale into cow. Do a couple of those. We're rocking the pelvis and then witnessing the little flow. I had begun today's practice saying we're going to lengthen that spiral of the spine, and then we started out collapsing it. Well, we're still doing that thing, but we're now noticing, are we lengthening the front, the back, the sides, or are we moving sort of in a wave or a spiral? So I'm going to ask your mind to really hyper engage in witnessing how you're moving your spine. Last week's practice was about self-study and how we move the body and how we engage the mind in any movements that we choose. And how our body moves is really going to have an effect, a close connection and relationship with how we feel emotionally. Move into downward dog. So embrace the abdominals. And here's the word, I said it last week too, I think, reach the hips back, come down, walk the knees out, bring the toes together, and then push back. Walk the arms forward. What we're doing right now is a nice little jaunty warm up. It's just like I can just press play and go. And in the middle, or from all of this hard work, what we're going to get is let yourself go. To trust that your body is going to heal itself. So claim that now. Let yourself go. We're going to work hard at lengthening the spine and then articulating the movements of the spine. That thing where it's a spring and some parts are going to be open, some parts are going to be closed. I picture like a slinky, you know, how it can move in just about any direction and a variety of directions at the same time. Let's do all of that again. Come up to hands and knees, align the knees under the hips, move from cat to cow. Notice that when you're in cat, you're pushing the tops of the feet down and you're really pushing your hands not only down, but away. Then when you're in cow, you turn your feet under and you're dragging your hands towards you. So practice that. Cat, tops of feet, hands drag away or push away. Cow, the toes, and you drag your hands down. Keep going and now begin to witness those shoulder tips. Remember how I said drag the shoulders, the shoulder blade tips into the rib cage? So if we can become aware of muscles that we don't usually consciously control, we don't consciously control anything, do we? Like we just try to affect our world. And then once in a while, we look in that mirror and go, oh, that's what I'm holding or not holding. 3. You're being aware now, not so much of the feet, but how the hands are push, pull, and then move into downward dog. Here's what we work on, reaching the hips up, kind of bend and straighten the knees to get that idea that there's a springiness and a fluidity. Because I want you to today to accept, acknowledge, and permit yourself to heal, that you all have this healing potential that comes from the churn of action. Come back down to hands and knees. Lift one leg straight back. Reach the opposite arm from that leg forward. Now just practice that same thing we began with. We inhale and lengthen, this time from heel to fingertips. Exhale, retain that length. So it's like you're opening up something and then you're filling in the gaps so that that thing stays long. Kind of think that you're hardening, like you're hardening the spine, but it's this magical substance that doesn't just stay hard, that as it gets harder, it gets more supple. If that makes sense. It gets more and more under your conscious and unconscious control. 3. We're spending a little bit longer in this one right here, right now, because we're becoming aware of how to control the low back muscles. And 1, let's try the other side. So one leg extends, lengthens. That hip stays down. Try not to spin or twist the body. And the opposite arm forward with the palm facing in. Remember, we're always aware of how we're spinning the arms open and creating space in that acromion process. Who knows what that means? It just means don't hurt your shoulder. Inhale, lengthen from heel to fingers. Exhale, embrace the core like you're filling in, like you have like a, I don't know, some kind of mold and you're pouring in gelatin, I guess, in the little spaces, and it hardens, but as it hardens, it gets more intelligent. Yeah, like we're building the nervous system from the ground up. Remember, we're staying here a little bit longer. Notice how you're leaning or not leaning, how you're holding or not holding. Are you waffling? 3. Remember, we're lengthening heel to fingers, longer, 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 without like hyper. Extending, I guess would be the word. And 1. make your way into a seated pose. Grab a band. So we're going to use the elastic properties of a band. So if you don't have one of these like TheraBand thing, don't use like a big rubber band or something. Don't try to use something that's not made for its elastic properties here. Crunch up the ends. Leave the thumbs up. Bring the knees, shoulder width apart here. And then just push forward. And as you pull back, open up. So reach forward, pull back, and open. Remember, we just practiced this with the shoulder blades on the back. Keep practicing that. Now you should really feel it because that rhomboid trapezius, this kind of the space between your shoulder blades. Later on, you're going to say to someone, "Ooh, I feel this right here." And you're going to point to that spot. That's what we're working right now. Keep the shoulders rolled backward though, so the looping of the shoulders down and back. Now become aware every time you exhale, same thing. Lengthen the spine through the back of the head. Exhale, lengthen the spine through the back of the head. So when we start moving into our boat poses and low boats and articulating the spine, and I say, draw on your knowledge of lengthening the spine because it's going to be a challenge to keep the spine straight when other joints need to do things, but the spine needs to stay straight in everything that you do, just about. You go to lift up that heavy object, you go to take the clothes out of the dryer, whatever the thing is you're doing, most of the time your spine should be straight. 3, 2, what are your abs doing? They're collecting and engineering how the spine can get more straight. Hold here. Roll the shoulders back. Try lifting one knee to tap kind of the band and then the other. So only one thing is important here, spine straight. If you're laying on the floor right now, spine straight. If you're doing all of these things together, spine straight. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to hold or harden the spine. Make it more. Resolve that I can control. I'll ask you, what can you control here? You can control the health of your spine. You can control the muscles that engage. The low back. The low back's not just there for pain. That's not its role. 3, 2, and 1. Let's come all the way up. That is, straighten the legs. Take the legs just a little bit bigger than the corners of the mat. I'm going to have to turn a little because I have a short space here. And bring the band behind your back. Hopefully your band is long enough that you can, again, crunch it up so your arms can be long. So the band is down there at the base of the shoulder blades. All we're going to do is twist. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, turn. Inhale, grow tall as you come back to center. Exhale, turn. Now, as you're turning, a lot of you are like master Pilates participants. You could almost teach it, right? As you're turning, I want you to redirect your attention to the sliding of the legs. Sounds like some event you would go to. Don't slide your legs. So set the back of your legs down and into concrete so they don't slide. Now, what that means is you can't turn as far as you think you can. You're going to say, you don't know me. I do know you. You can't turn as far as you think. Our heads turn pretty far. So we think our body should turn as far. It absolutely, not even close, does not. So forget your head. I've been accused of that in my life, that I've forgotten my head. Forget your head. So I have a jump on you here. And notice how your hips and your waists are negotiating this turn. 3 more times. 3, squeeze the abs. And remember, it's the length. That was number 1. 2, but then don't slide the legs was the number 2 thing there. Good. Let's try this again. We're going to try hold on, don't throw that at me yet. Just hold it in your hand. Come to the sits pose, the seated pose. Lean just a little bit back, chin a little bit down. Yes, yes, yes. Inhale, exhale to lengthen the front and the back of the spine evenly. What a fantastic workout we're getting today. I can feel how happy you are that we're doing this today. If you have the band and you're up for a little bit of intrigue, try wrapping it around the soles of the feet, sort of the ball mounds, and then place the shoulders back onto the back, get back into position. Then try lifting the legs and straightening them. All right. I see you wobbling and falling and going forward and back and twisting and turning. Why does the band make this harder? Because the feet think they can push into it and get some help, and the band is not helping in this case. So we're having to negotiate the weirdness, the elasticity of the band. And we do that by trusting the training that went on around the back and the front of the abs. 3 breaths. I'm like falling. It's like I'm sinking. And 1. Let's put that down for a second and just take a stretch. I'm feeling an anchor metaphor coming on. I was sinking. Fold 1 foot in. Find the sits bones and dig them in. Inhale up. Exhale, extend back. Inhale up. And then forward fold over this leg. If your hands reach the toes, give them a pull. Let's do 3 or 4 slow. We were just working on moving the spine up and then making it stay there. Now work on moving the ribs out. They don't stay there. That's important that they don't stay there. And 1. Crawl your way back up. Okay, whatever side has that knee, that's the hand that goes back behind you. Point the toes of the long leg. Yeah, just like that. And then reach this arm up, kind of like, ha. Then, if it's in your repertoire, push into this hand and lift the hips up, like you're rolling up onto that short knee. Again, this is like, ha. 3. Keep opening the front of the pelvis. This is where we're always contracting on and off the mat. Inhale, exhale, and come back down. So let's switch to the other leg. So 1 foot into the upper and inner thigh, wiggle, and then, dig the hips, those little sits bones down, turn towards this outstretched leg. Inhale up. Exhale, extend back. Inhale up and forward fold. If you want to hold on to these toes, if you want to hold on to the band, just take a long stretch. As you're taking these breaths, remember I'm about to say open the ribs. Say to yourself, I'm engaged in a healthy process. Part of that are the oops and the breaks and the uncertainties and the insecurities and those things. There's going to be pitfalls. So 3 breaths here. Remember, your goal here is to expand the ribs out and let them just fall naturally back in. 2. So then release that, crawl your way up. Flex it, why not? Same side as the knee, bring that hand behind you, twist a little bit in that direction. Now do point that other set of toes, turn the palm face up. Are you ready? Reach up. So we're opening the side ribs, see the side waist opening. Then if it's in your repertoire, lift up, lift the hips, kind of bow the body into extension. 3. Do push into this knee. Find that engagement. What's this leg even doing? And 1. Come all the way down to the back. I'm just so excited. I have so many good things for you. Let's start out rolling down onto the back. All we're going to work on here is peeling the tail, the pelvic bowl, the low back, the bottom of the ribs, and then up to the shoulder blades, up and off the floor. I feel like I went fast there. I know I didn't, but it feels fast. All right, so bottom of the shoulder blades, the lower ribs touch the floor, the low back, the lumbar spine touches the floor. This should be really hard. Pause there. In fact, let's stop. Feel the low back touching the floor, but not really the pelvis. So I could put a little piece of paper underneath my pelvis here because there's a little bit of space. Now do put the top rim of the pelvis down. Before you move, lengthen the front of your thigh bones here. Then put the middle part of the pelvis down and then the tail down. Let's do that again. Tailbone curls. Middle of the pelvis curls up off the floor. The rim of the pelvis up off the floor. This is where I like to pause. Then the low back. Then the lowest ribs. Then I'll call them the middle ribs. Now squeeze the inner thighs towards each other so they move probably an inch. If you're like me, they were about an inch too far apart. Keep that. Keep that. Don't let those legs go in and out. Then begin to roll down. So middle of the ribs touch the floor. Yes. The lowest ribs touch the floor. Here's the hard part. The lumbar spine touches the floor, but not the pelvis. Then the rim of the pelvis, then the middle of the pelvis, and then the tail. All right, faster, faster, faster. Here we go. Tailbone lifts, middle of the pelvis lifts, rim of the pelvis. Lumbar spine lifts, lowest ribs, middle ribs, hold. Squeeze the leg bones together. They still it out again. And then roll down. Slow. Almost make a crease right there. For me, it's a little bit below my waistline. That's where that crease would show up if I'm truly going to get neutral with the pelvis and the spine. So keep going. Go up slowly. Whenever you're ready, whenever you get there, notice, discover, and control. So the first, let's call it the first third of our practice here was about lengthening the spine and then learning how to hold it, in various lengthened positions. This part, and this is going to be like really the main part, we're learning how to control the movements of the spine and teach the brain that the spine is not one joint. It's not just one thing. Even though I told you keep your spine straight, we don't. We don't. So we need strength in various postures and positions and contortions. Because the real world forces you. Let's say you're skating on wet leaves. This time of year, you're skating on wet leaves. And you have to learn. You can't teach somebody. This is how you walk when you're on wet leaves. Your body has to experience that, and then you have to be present to get that education. You're going up slowly, right? You're still engaging the inner thighs, and you're really focused on hollowing out the low belly to push out through the low back. When you're ready, come down. I don't know when you get there. When you get there, maybe spread the arms out a little bit wider. Lift both legs up. Now let's kind of walk. So let's take a walk. One leg hip, the other leg hip. This is something in between bicycling and walking. I don't know, if you're walking, I guess your legs would be sort of kicking forward and bending. I don't know, go in your mind. You're taking a nice long walk. It's beautiful autumn leaves. I don't know, maybe you're on the beach and your feet are going through the sand. Oh, this is easy. This isn't hard when you put it that way. Maybe you're in the water and you're treading water, although that's not the way we do it. In fact, in a moment, we are going to do it a different way. So right now, kind of this vertical alignment. Reach through the heels though, right? If you actually were walking, you would have to connect your feet to the ground. You don't get the option. If you can levitate, I say levitate. Go ahead and do it. Don't worry about, don't you obey the laws of gravity. Let me give you permission to just go ahead and float away. 3, you're breathing, right? All right, let's bend the knees. I got to walk out a little bit. Bring your hands to them. And we're going to make these egg beater type circles. Push the knees away, open them, pull the knees in, close them. So let's push away, open, pull in, and close. Otherwise known as circle. Now, as you're doing this, resist. Imagine your legs don't want to do this and they've gotten like hard and stiff. Right? Imagine those, all those muscles are locked up. All right, your goal is to not move your legs. Of course you're doing it, right? You're doing it because you are the Pilates machine. You are a Pilates machine. How do you make that happen? Well, first thing is you might think, well, my arms just got stronger. No, probably not. Because you are one organism, part of your body is going to work with you. You're not really going to work against yourself. So your abs are going to reconcile. What's really am I trying to do here? Well, like she told me to circle, so I better still be doing that. So your abs are figuring out how to at once resist the circling and do the circling. Now go the other way. If you can't figure out the other way, let this be one of your boundaries for today. It's okay. I can't figure out what that meant. If you're going the other way, add that resistance. Make it hard. But don't isolate this to the arms and the legs. Do let your abs do what the abs are supposed to do. That is wake up and control the movements of the spine. 3 more times. Smooth the core muscles. All right, kind of let go. Stretch the arms out. If it's in your repertoire, straighten the legs more. Do the same motion with the legs. Do you remember? Down, out, up, over, and in. Remember that? 2 circles. All right, I gotta move. I'm a little bit too close to this curtain. Circle. I didn't tell you how big to make these circles. I see you've taken liberties and you're just like circling, circling for your life. Okay. Or you're doing really small circles. Doesn't matter to me. What matters is that your abs have decided, I'm going to help here. This is my job. I'm going to help. Make your abs help. Are they moving the pelvis or are they stabilizing the pelvis? Are they lengthening the spine or are they compressing the spine? Are they helping the legs on their journey or are they letting go? Now go the other way. Breathe. 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 Same questions over and over. Awaken to what your abs roll and give yourself permission to make this a healing journey. So we call that letting go. We're not letting go of the muscles. We're not just like falling apart. But sometimes we do. Sometimes we do. 3, 2. Now leave the legs together, heels, and out at a diagonal away from you. From there, bend the knees, pull the heels in. From there, push the heels out. So heels in, heels out. Your legs are doing sort of a frog kind of maneuver here. Now from here, here's your one and only goal. Lengthen your waist. That waist, I don't have to tell you, that's like from the rim of your pelvis to the bottom ribs. That's what we call the waist, right? So all the way around, lengthen that. So as you're contracting, you're lengthening. That's your one and only goal here. Make your breath support your effort. 4, don't overcontract that trapezius, that upper sort of shoulder neck muscle. And then hug the knees in. Okay, before moving on, grab the band. Same position we were just in. Put the band around the feet. Bring the heels together. Anchor your elbows to the floor. I'm going to hold this band like a microphone. Thumbs up. And then with the knees wide, I'm going to push out. Same exact thing. I have the band going to the outside of my feet, but to the inside of my knees. If it's on the outside of your knees, you might have a little bit of, collision there. Heels pushed together, legs out, 45 degrees, or straight up. That's valid. That's valid. Don't judge the degrees. Now, your one and only role here is to lengthen the waist. We need a high waist, people. Those fashions are coming back, so you need a long waist, no short waist. Push. All right, remember when we were in boat pose and I said that this band was making it much harder because you were expecting it to help you and it was doing something different? In this case, I don't say this is making it easier, but this is really aiming. So any of your assister muscles, not sister, assister, any of your assister muscles, they're going, thank you, band. We can take a little break here. Don't believe it. You always need to pay attention to how you're moving your body. 4, abs go in, belly goes down. Abs go in, belly goes down. And 1, good. We'll take the band off. From there, roll onto your side. Catch your top foot, the same side hand. Pull the knee down and back. Let's flow the breath. Remember the 2 directions we've been working on with the breath. It lengthens the spine, and kind of holds it there. And it expands the ribs. Take another 3 or 4 breaths to rest. Refill. Rejuvenate, restore. All right, from here. Did we grab a ball? Do you have a ball? Did we grab a ball? If you have a ball, put it between your knees. Your knees are staying bent. You can stay up on your elbow. You can come all the way down. Doesn't matter to this, or it doesn't matter to me. We're going to lift the legs and release. Lift, release. So it is important that whatever is anchored into the floor is staying anchored into the floor. So your hands, right? Your hands can anchor. One note, if one arm is up over your head, don't push down. I would suggest keeping that elbow down. Kind of like hold your face here, not sticking your hand all the way up over your head. That has to do with that shoulder impingement we're talking about this week. When it comes up, hold, squeeze the ball. 3, 2, 1, go down, up. 3, 2, 1, down, up, squeeze, 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 down, up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 4, 3. Make sure that exhale is pronounced. And we'll put the ball down. Take this top knee. I'm going to come up so I can see you. Twist the knee down, then twist the heel behind you. So twist the top leg, twist the top leg. Twist and twist and twist and twist. So we're doing the same thing over and over. I said this is the middle part of our practice. We're nearing the end part where we're in really good control of the arms and the legs. The arms and the legs and things like the band and the ball, they are the periphery. They're the props. Your arms and legs are just props that you have to learn to master how to move them. And we do that by mastering that waist. 3, 2, leave it forward, and then just little like knock the knee onto the floor. So it's a little tap, 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 tap. Oh dear. Oh, my. This is what I signed up for. That feeling in the hips is what we sign up for. I've been teaching long enough to know that if I were with you in a room right now, you'd be going, ah. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop that down, twist open. Little story, teaching in a big group exercise class. I once had a new student, and they try so hard, the new students, and they're, am I doing this right? And they're very proper and appropriate. When we got to that part of the class, something came out of her mouth she did not mean to say in public. she ran out of there with her a little embarrassed. Okay, we all were thinking it. You just said it. It's okay. Take that top hand and give that hip a rub, rub, rub. Use the knuckles to dig in. Scrape up and down, and then I'm going to call this side to side, from the hip to the tail, that direction. And then grab this top knee and pull it in. Give that another breath. Inhale. Good. Exhale. All right, flip to the other side. I believe we started with grabbing the top foot. Pulling the heel to the glute and pushing the front of the pelvis forward. Luxuriate in this. For a lot of us, our little exercise, this little time you carved out and you devoted, this is like the only time in your day where it's just for you. So luxuriate in it. If a stretch or even an exercise feels good, stay a while. Let's do 2. Remember, expand the rib cage breaths. Then we'll grab the ball. If memory serves me, and it almost never does, we put it between the knees. Remember, you get to choose. You can be up. As long as you're not compressing and falling into the shoulder, you can be up. Arm probably, though, not way up overhead. Here we go. Lift the legs and down. We're balancing strength with flexibility, and they are competing properties. They are. If you ever see one of those really big muscular people, they walk in and they can't see to move anything, and then you say, I want to be more muscular. No, you don't. You don't really want more muscle. A little bit. You don't want to lose it, that's for sure, but you don't want to build very much. You just want to be able to use what you've got to the best benefit. After 2, I'm going to test you. Do you remember? We lift up and hold. Squeeze, 2, 3, down, up. Squeeze, 2, 3, down, up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Here's a question for you. Which leg is doing the squeezing? Remember that exhale? Exhale, exhale, exhale. What's the belly doing? Going in, going in, going in. 2 more. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Yes. All right, we'll let go of the ball. Ooh. Take the top knee. Remember this one? Twist it forward, twist it back. Knee in front. Yeah. Above all, I asked you a little while ago to acknowledge and give yourself permission that this is a healing process. Give yourself time, space. These things take time. but they also take effort, by the way. Nothing happens just in time alone. You have to put in the work. So we heat it up. We move some things around. Are you ready for this? Just tap in front, just tap in front. Little tap, like you're knocking, you know, a little gentle rap, rap, rapping. Ooh. Glass half full, glass half empty. I don't know where that came from. As I'm looking at this side differently from the last side. The other side was funny. This one's not funny. 4, 3, 2, and yes. Drop the leg down, twist open, relax, luxuriate. Soak up the rays. Breathe in the air, the salt air, the beautiful breeze. Feel the beauty of the change that the body is transitioning and transforming. The little hills and valleys, they don't always feel good, but trust that the whole journey, up and down, up and down, up and down, that the whole journey. Grab this top knee, pull it in. Take this top hand if you like and rub, 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 rub. I like circles right at this moment, but now I'm going to transition to that back and forth. Find where it was tight. For me, it's actually up higher. It's up high. It's up at the rim of the pelvis almost. Big muscle. Takes a lot. All right, when you're ready, come all the way back to the back. Take the knees, push them open. Keep pushing down like you're opening a book, you know? Keep pushing down. Take 3 breaths, push down. Move the ribs and then wobble your way into Shavasana. So let the arms and the legs spin open. Let the spine now relax into the floor. When you're ready and in your time, inhale. Without any effort, just let go. This time, slowly inhale. Without any effort, when it's time, let it go. Begin to make your way onto your side. Open your eyes. Push up off the floor. Come up to a seated pose. When you do that, make sure you re-straighten and lengthen up through the crown of your head. Inhale and reach up. Exhale and come back. And you're all done. That was a great work. Thank you.